We're Gala, and we cover all entertainment verticals. Our ambition is to be the respected leader in the Web3 space globally, and that covers entertainment. That covers every type of entertainment, whether it's gaming or film or music. We're in all of that.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin, here with my brother Aaron, joined by the man, the legend himself, Jason Brink, head of blockchain at Gala Games. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Wonderful to be here today.
Definitely, man. And obviously, Gala's been making big waves. Snoop Dogg, tons of games in development, play to earn space. I want to get to all that, but just generally speaking, what's your background? How'd you get into crypto?
How did I get into crypto? Oh man, it's a little bit of a long and convoluted story. Okay, well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to kind of go back a little bit to 2010 when there was the earthquake in Haiti. Following the earthquake in Haiti, I went there with a group of people to do a little bit of disaster relief work. And, we were working in a hospital. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, but I'm generally speaking a useful person. So I was, doing a bunch of jobs that nobody else wanted to do, carrying heavy things, cleaning cots that people had died on, helping carry bodies around and stuff like that. And what I saw is a lot of people suffering in extreme critical poverty to the point where, at the hospital, we had a mother who delivered twins, and they died about 5 minutes after they were delivered because she was so severely malnourished that she could barely support the children. At the same time, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars was flowing into Haiti, but none of it was getting to the people. People were dying of starvation, they were dying of dysentery, they were dying of cholera, and the only sign of all of that, those millions of dollars, were a few USAID tarps, and we saw one broken down UN truck at one point in time driving through the city, some old Toyota. So clearly there's a big problem with the equitable distribution of aid. And so what I started doing is, after all of this experience, I kind of got to the point where I was looking at using blockchain technology as a way to facilitate and fix some of the problems endemic to foreign aid. How do we make sure that when money goes to the country, that it actually goes to where it's supposed to go, not to, sticky-fingered government bureaucrats, essentially, which is what typically happens in these sorts of situations where, in some situations, you'll literally have like a pallet of money that gets rolled off the back of an airplane and handed over to some government official who is for sure going to make sure that it goes to where it needs to go, right? And so, that was kind of the beginning of that. I wrote a paper on it, submitted it to a Global Development Network and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation competition, ended up winning an award for that. And that sort of catapulted me into the space. And I've been in the blockchain space since then. But I've come to the point where I recognize that governments and NGOs do not move quickly enough to really get help to the people who need it most, which is where blockchain gaming came in. Because with blockchain gaming, we can build an ecosystem, we can build a game, we can facilitate the transfer of wealth, essentially, from people who want to pay into a game to people who want to earn by playing. And everyone benefits in that ecosystem. And so that's what I started doing, and that's why I'm here with Gala Games.
That's quite an origin story. I love that. Now, as far as like Gala Games, obviously, I want to find out about Gala. How exactly did that start, and how did you get to where you are today?
So Gala was started by, it's kind of a funny story. So I was hanging out with the two co-founders and this is such a bummer. This is one of those situations where it's like you always get on the damn plane. I was hanging out with the two main co-founders. We were in India at the time, just at an event, and we were all sort of discussing this as a general idea. And they offered for me to, they chartered a plane to take somewhere else, and I at the time couldn't afford to get on the chartered plane. And so they actually formalized the deal in the air, and then I kind of got dragged along a little bit later. So that's how it started. The main founder is Eric Schiermeier, who's one of the co-founders of Zynga, and everybody in the company, well, most of us have, at the very least, a tech background, but a lot of people from gaming who got really, really tired of the way that things were being done previously. And so we wanted very much to, create something better, give gamers actual ownership of their in-game assets, and that's what we've worked to do.
So just for all the new people entering the crypto space for the first time in these last few months, what is Gala Games, generally speaking? What is your mission, and how are you guys different?
Sure. Well, I would actually like to expand that a little bit. I need to change this. Oh, sorry, this. So that it actually just says Gala instead of Gala Games. That's actually an old logo. We're Gala, and we cover all entertainment verticals. Our ambition is to be the respected leader in the Web3 space globally, and that covers entertainment. That covers every type of entertainment, whether it's gaming or film or music. We're in all of that, and so that is essentially our goal and what we're working on doing. And we have a pretty substantially sized company now that is dedicated every day to achieving this ambition. I think we got about 400 employees now. I don't know if it's ticked over 400, but it's above like 390 now.
Damn, crazy.
Yeah. And we're still growing. I mean, and for those of you who have just entered the blockchain space for the very first time these last few months, for starters, I'm sorry, it's been a rough couple months, and there's probably a little bit more ahead of us. But one of the things that I think differentiates us is from day one, we have built the entire company as if it was a crypto winter. Okay? We build from the perspective of crypto winter. We're prepared for crypto winter. It does not slow us down. It does not hurt us in any way, shape, or form. And I think that that's something that's really a big differentiation.
So Gala is more than just games, but Gala is also games. Could you tell us, I played the game when I saw your booth.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the game? Yes, exactly. It was a fun game. I think I obviously played a version where I didn't connect my wallet. But can you kind of explain, is it free to play? Is there a crypto version?
Basically, yeah, that what you played was the alpha, which is the open alpha. Anyone could step up and play. You didn't have to own anything to be able to do that. And there's no way we would ever ask people to connect their wallets on some random computer at a convention. Like, we're not terrible human beings. So yes, there definitely is a crypto version of the game. That specific game that you played is called Spider Tanks. It's in a soft release right now where we're testing the economy with a test coin, essentially, to make sure that earning works correctly. What happens is that you are able to own NFTs, which are tanks and parts. You can then play, collect resources, upgrade your tanks. Eventually, you will be able to sell those tanks. And in playing matches, you are able to collect and earn a currency which is called Silk, that is part of the Gala ecosystem, and you're able to earn that and do whatever you want with it. It's yours. But yeah, that's the basic. That's one game. We have 28 games in the process of coming to market right now.
What's the most accessible for the average person? If they want to go right now, there'll be links down below. But what can people play something now?
Right now, I think the game that is the most accessible, and it's a big part of Mayhem right now, is actually TownStar. TownStar is a farm simulation. It was produced by the same guy who created Farmville 2, actually, which Farmville 2, I don't know if you're aware of this, I believe peaked out at 34.6 million daily active users.
It was addictive.
Which is very addictive, right? This game is equally addictive. It's a little bit different than Farmville in that what you're really building and what you're laying out is a factory. So it's about resource allocation, optimizing paths, and building things out. We're giving away significant prizes this month as part of May Mayhem. So I absolutely encourage you to click on the link somewhere down there and go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
I'm a little bit undereducated on May Mayhem. Sounds exciting. What is that exactly?
So May Mayhem, the origins of May Mayhem were last year. We always like to give back to the community. Okay, that's what it's about for us. Is it's how do we create an opportunity to give something to the community? And last year we gave away about $1 million worth of Gala. And that was all part of our May Mayhem giveaway. People loved it. There was a tremendous amount of support. Lots of people joined our ecosystem because of it, and we decided that, hey, we ought to do that again. Except now we're doing it with more games. So we're giving away. We have prizes for spider tanks. We have prizes for TownStar. We're introducing all sorts of new concepts. Introducing some referral reward structures so that you can earn yourself some NFTs. There's a lot going on. You can learn more if you join our Discord at galagames.chat and hop in there and talk to people. So there's lots going on.
And for the folks at home, Spider Tanks, the one I played, that was fun. I recommend that one. But TownStar, curious to find out about TownStar. Well, I hear it's one of the popular ones. Why is it so popular?
It's popular because it's very accessible. I mean, it's one of those things that, Spider Tanks, you can't just set Spider Tanks up and then just sort of watch it go. Spider Tanks is a 3v3 fast-paced light MOBA. So when you play Spider Tanks, you play Spider Tanks. And you are in it, you get twitchy, it's where your hand gets all sweaty because you're
clicking away.
Exactly. TownStar isn't that. TownStar, you set things up, you let resources collect, you sell resources, you watch it go. I usually set it up on a separate monitor and just kind of let it run. It's also very accessible because it's easy to play on mobile. So you can just go to the website and you can open it up on your phone and just play that way. So it's a nice, relaxing, idle game with a fun soundtrack and little chirpy birds in the background and stuff like that. It's very easy to get into.
Nice. Gala in 5 years. What will be the reason Gala makes it where other gaming or entertainment vertical cryptos don't? And what will that success look like?
Well, the way that I look at this is that there is no other blockchain out there that is specifically designed to handle games. Most blockchains out there exist to handle balances of accounts. Okay, so even if you look at Bitcoin, it's very straightforward. That's that chain, very well understood. Ethereum can do a bit more. Okay, but ultimately at the end of the day, you're still just kind of pushing token balances around while also completely getting destroyed by gas fees, right? All of the L2s are cool. They really help with some of the gas fee problems, but ultimately you're still tied to a lot of the same limitations. There are other L1s out there, but all of them aren't. They're not designed for games. Games require a very different set of parameters that need to be passed along to manage in-game inventory, to manage things like other whatever else may need to be on chain, collection of resources, position in the world. Please forgive the train in the background. There it is.
I love it. It's fully immersive. If this was a game.
This is a plug for Grit, the new game that's going to be coming out where you can actually engage in a train chase. It's going to be super fun. It's going to get you guys a Grit logo that can flash up on screen.
Do it. Jump on the Gala train.
Yeah, yes. hop on, guys. So anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, 5 years. So what we're working on right now is we're in the process of getting ready to release our own L1, which has been specifically built to manage games. Okay, it's specifically built for games. And as we begin the migration to that, I think that's going to be something that really differentiates us. I think the other thing that differentiates us in this space, less so now, is the fact that we have a tendency to really, really bring the heat. You know, we don't, when we announce something, there's already something there to see before we make an announcement. You know, so we're getting ready to have Galaverse here in a couple weeks, and everything that's going to be announced there is getting pretty. I mean, it's pretty far along. So it's what we don't do is the, hey, we have a cool idea for a game. Here's a deck and a video that we had somebody make. Now please buy our token so we can build a game. You know, we've deployed over $400 million so far this year into new game development. So that's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Definitely. And I'm also curious, as you said, Gala is more than games. You want to get into entertainment in general. Obviously, you guys are well-funded, well-connected. I know you have ties to Snoop, D.O.G.G., Steve Aoki. Like, what is, besides the games, what does the entertainment side look like in the next couple of years?
So the way that I look at this, and please take what I say about music with a grain of salt. Okay, Sarah Buxton, I highly recommend that you guys chat with her at some point in time, because she's adorable and British and wonderful and says amazing things. The way that I see this, when we look at the concept of blank to earn, okay, there is no reason that everything that we consume in terms of our entertainment can't have some sort of component like that built into it. Okay, one of the problems that we're seeing in the music space, and if you sit down and you talk to Snoop, which I've been happy to do a few times, he's a really, really cool dude. You know, you sit down and talk to him and listen to him talk about the music industry and how badly everyone gets screwed. Okay, there's massive problems with misaligned incentives there. And what we want to do is we want to make it possible for absolutely awesome stuff to happen for artists, for people who want to make films, for beginning filmmakers, for, you know, artists that are just starting out. You know, right now, if you're an artist and you're just starting out, you know, the moment that you get the tiniest bit of traction, somebody's going to try to lock you up in a record deal, and then you're kind of screwed. You know, you'll do it because you don't really have an option. We want to provide that option. You know, and we think that entertainment should be much more holistic and integrated with one another than it currently is. Right now, you have film and you have music and you have games. There's no reason that those three things can't blend together seamlessly and create an amazingly immersive experience that wraps all of it together.
So 3-5 years down the line, a new burgeoning artist will be able to go on your platform, cultivate an audience through NFTs, you know, bring in their audience and then just grow with them.
Absolutely. And it's going to be sooner than that.
Whoa.
It's going to be much sooner than that. We've got so much going on, guys. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, it's kind of funny because you posted the thing on Twitter this morning, you know, saying that, you know, we're having this interview and, you know, what questions do you have? And there were a lot of questions about, you know, when this, or will there be, you know, additional utility for Gala, or will there be, you know, all of these types of questions were asked. And what the thing that I would like to convey to people is that what you see of Gala is the tiniest tip of the iceberg of what's actually going on there in the background. There's so much happening that you know, oftentimes people are like, oh, well, when are you going to update us about blank? Pick a project, right? And it's difficult because we only have so many announcement spots in any given day that we can use, you know, and so, and each of these other games has its own team that's building it, okay, and, you know, we bring them into Discord and we chat with them there and things like that, but there's just so many things that are happening. It's hard to get that information deployed adequately. Something we're working on. Obviously, we're scaling our marketing team massively right now, but yeah, there's a lot going on.
So I want to get to just big picture Bitcoin crypto market, but
Yeah.
any final thoughts on what can we expect or anything we didn't mention for Gala this year?
Things that I would like to go into briefly. There was one question that somebody asked about, does the bear market impact us? Crypto winter. I want to reiterate that no, not at all. Does nothing. We're just going to keep on building right on through it. Not even going to slow down. During the ICO craze of like 2016, 2017, during the winter that followed that, we saw a lot of projects collapse. And so, from the get go, we built specifically so that that does not happen to us. Um, Utility for Gala. Here's a little alpha. Do you guys want alpha?
Hell yes.
Okay, so there is something in flight right now, not fully announced. Can't go into too much detail, but the idea here is that the duration of time which you have held Gala will matter in a next massive major ecosystem shift. So if you're holding Gala, and if you're the type of person that likes to move it between wallets, maybe don't do that. Just kind of put it into place and leave it there for a little bit. There's some interesting news coming here pretty soon.
That's really interesting because we've seen, different protocols when they launch a token, rewarding the community who already uses the protocol in a way that seems like it's rewarding actual like true blue,
Yeah.
Gala believers.
Well, that's what we want to reward the people that have helped build a strong ecosystem over time. That's really really important because the way that I look at this, and at the end of the day, this is super super critical. At the end of the day, what we're building is a decentralized protocol. Gala, yes, is a company. Gala will publish games, and those will be on this much larger decentralized protocol. But what we're building is based around the concept of community. So everything that happens is involving this community. I am part of this community just as much as you guys are, and just as much as every person listening to this is. You guys are all part of this. We're all in this together, and we feel that those of you who have contributed the most to the ecosystem should be rewarded. So we're working on building systems that do that.
So does this have something to do with that announcement with you guys? You said you're launching your own L1 chain. Does that
Yeah,
go hand in hand?
it might, maybe, who knows, possibly.
Well, I am going to stay subscribed, stay up to date. Jason, let's talk big picture crypto.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. This is my favorite. I love big picture crypto.
Okay, awesome. You have been in the space for a long time. Right now
Longest time, man.
we're entering a bear market. Crypto's
Yeah.
getting drained right now. Are you worried?
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. The biggest challenges that blockchain has in the long run um, is really a question of self-policing. Okay, we always find ourselves in this weird position in the blockchain space where blockchain is based on this concept of like ultimate freedom, right? You own your stuff. You control the keys, not your coins, right? I mean, that's something that gets drilled into every blockchain person, sort of from day one. Um, and the biggest challenge that we're going to have is bad actors that bring regulatory pressure. And this is why it is incumbent on all of us in the space to, one, at all times, comport yourself with integrity. If it's not the right thing, don't do that thing. You know, I, Obviously there are people who are going to do terrible shit no matter what. But you know, support the people that are acting with integrity. That's really important. The second thing is don't panic. Okay, never panic. It doesn't ever help. If you have a hard time looking at numbers or something like that. I mean, every once in a while I'll talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh my God, did you see the price of whatever?" Walk away. Just walk away. Go for a walk. There is more important stuff out there than numbers. And typically speaking, if you react with emotion to market conditions, that almost never works. And that's like trading rule number one. Don't bring your emotion into it. So chill out a little bit. It's gonna be okay. I've been through like 5 of these things, and every single time there's been like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. When with Ethereum dropped from like when it broke 100 for the first time, and then it dropped back down to like 20 or something. I had 25. I don't even remember what it was. We've seen this again and again and again. It's gonna be okay.
Did you freak out that in your initial bear market, it was your first one? I'm sure you were.
My first one, my first one. Oh God, what was that even? I mean, like, I was broke as hell at that point in time, so I didn't have enough for it to really matter. So there was a sense of zen detachment from it, I guess. It's like, my $500 had gone from $500 to, less than that. So like not a huge loss here. It's never what has always bothered me is when I'm working on a project, okay? And this is something that I see with Gala right now, okay? It is very much a bear market. The prices of everything have gone down, okay? And I never comment on the price of Gala, okay? So please do not take this as that, okay? That said, what is always bothersome for me and always makes me feel bad is when I see people who this does bother. And I really want to empathize. I really want to comment. Like, I get people messaging me on Twitter all the time. Like, oh, why is the price of Gala going down? Why? Why? Are you guys ever going to do anything? Like, are you ever going to release a game? And usually it's like somebody who's not really part of the community. They yeeted $100 in on Coinbase or something like that. And now I become like their whipping person on Twitter or something like that. But it always makes me feel really bad because I really wish that I could, like, comfort people and say, like, dude, you have no idea. But I can't. And, who knows? The things that we're doing will potentially have zero impact in that regard anyway. Doesn't matter. Won't comment on it. You understand. Hashtag not investment advice. But, like, you get the general point.
For sure. For sure. One of my final questions is, do you have any thoughts on being more bullish on Bitcoin or Ethereum, or do you think Bitcoin will ever get flipped, or do you think Ethereum will ever get flipped?
That's a good. I mean, I know that however I answer this question, I'm going to piss somebody off. So I will. I'm going to answer somewhat carefully. I do think that at some point in time, I don't see anything in the near term flipping Bitcoin. Okay, I do see Bitcoin, falling to a lower level of market dominance over time, but I don't see anything necessarily flipping it, unless some black swan event happens. There's some, weird 0-day exploit or something like some weird thing occurs which trashes it, or some weird regulatory action is focused specifically on Bitcoin. I don't see that. I don't see that happening though, really. Ethereum is a little bit of another situation. I like Ethereum. Ethereum is brilliant in what it was attempting to do. However, I feel that it was built with such tremendously misaligned incentives that it is not good for the users in most cases. And I think that eventually something will flip Ethereum.
Oh,
I don't know what it will be yet. I mean, it just it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. It has issues which are very difficult to overcome from a usability perspective. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. I love it though. That wasn't criticism. It's just I think
You keep it real. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I try.
So much more we could get into. Jason, I definitely want to have you back, but just final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience and how they can get involved with May Mayhem.
The best way to get involved in May Mayhem is, I know there's a link down there, so go click wherever that is. Click that. It will take you to a place, sign up, and start playing. Very, very simple. Will only take you like a minute to sign up. It's a super, super simple process. So then start playing. Okay. The next thing is I highly recommend everyone join our Discord at galagames.chat. Okay. Once you
I'm going to join right now.
Yeah, do it, please. Once you get in there, you can ask questions. We have the best and most helpful Discord on the internet. They're amazing. So I highly recommend you get in there and start asking questions. People will be happy to help you. And that's really easy. You can also follow us at @GoGalaGames on Twitter, and I am at BitbenderBrink on Twitter.
Jason, thank you very much, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.